please say hello to my guests, Ron Funches, Ryan Hurst, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, all here from their homes. Jeffrey Dean Morgan in a very cozy looking locale there. Jeff, how are you? How are you doing out there?
Good. I've never been happier to have a farm, actually, and a bunch of land. So good.
Let's jump right into this. What was your reaction to Carol and Negan teaming up for Operation Kill Alpha?
I think the first initial reaction, and when I found out like a year ago now, when we were prepping for the season, Angela called to tell me that Carol would be the one in cahoots with Negan and would be the one breaking him out of jail and sending him on, his journey for the second half of the season and joining up with the Whisperers. And really, I was just excited to work with Melissa. I haven't had one scene with her in over 4 years. So kind of that, our first scene was actually a couple episodes ago when you saw Alpha's head being delivered. But really our first kind of big scene, we shot in order those two scenes, the flashback scene first in jail, and then we jumped back to the head on the pike. And it was great. We'd been kind of talking about working together for so long. And I think that kind of, that excitement, I think you see on the screen, which worked for those two characters, I think. Eyes got a little sparkly and excited just about seeing each other. So, and I think that worked.
Okay, this is from Maggard Christie on Twitter. Jeffrey, what was the significance of the kiss Negan gave Alpha after he slit her throat? What was going through his head?
My thought was it's a brutal way to go, having your throat slit. I know, having had my own throat slit. But they had formed kind of this weird relationship in a very short amount of time. And we'll talk about, I'm sure, that lead up to that moment. But, he gave her every opportunity to say she wouldn't kill Lydia. I don't know exactly what his plan would have been had she said, I'm not going to kill my daughter. But I think that Negan had I won't say sympathy, but there was just a moment that he was giving her some peace in that kind of very violent end. I don't think that they were in love or anything. I know they weren't in love or anything, but it was just also just weird enough that I thought it was a very Negan thing to do, really.
Let's talk about Beta a little bit, and let's talk about the big reveal for what I'm calling the Beta Band, although I know Half Moon is the name. Did you have any input on the reveal of Beta being a super international superstar singer?
I wanted him to keep his mask on all the time. And then I was just trying to think of, narratively, like why someone would keep a mask on all the time.
Ron, what was your reaction to the way Beta was handling Alpha's death? I really thought he was going to keep the live head with him forever as some kind of a god or a totem or something. What was your reaction?
Oh, he is not handling that death well at all. I think we all have friends like that, get a relationship that ends and they do not handle it well. And that is Beta, which is one way is kind of beautiful because we have this show and this atmosphere where there's a lot of death and a lot of people leaving. And it's kind of nice to see this relationship, this true mentorship, this true love, and how much her death really affected Beta. But on the other end, it just reminded me of my friend that washes his hair with the girlfriend shampoo after that they broke up. It's like, move on, find somebody else.
We are back with Ron and Jeffrey and Ryan. We have a video question sent in by a viewer, so let's roll it.
But up until then, he's just kind of like, look, we're all sort of dead. We are the end of the world. I don't think that it's that big of a leap. I think that he probably knew that this was going to happen, or some version of that this was going to happen at some point.
Jeffrey, what does Negan hope is the next chapter in the book of Negan? Because it seems like it's not playing out exactly the way he had hoped it would.
In Showtime, he was about to get, hung at Alexandria. I think, and I know it seems like I was out in the woods forever with the Whisperers, but I want to say in show days, it's like 3 days, believe it or not. because I was surprised too. I was sort of like, what the hell's taking so long, chopping her head off? My feeling is, it's exactly what he said to Carol last night. He wants to go through the doors of Alexandria and start a new life. At least that's as far as he's gotten. He hasn't. I don't think he's had a whole lot of time to think about this, what the next chapter is and the details of that. I think he is hoping to, get out of that jail. He's been in jail for 8-10 years and been out for 3 days and living amongst the whisperers. I think the next chapter would probably be a shower. And then from there, I think he wants to figure out what the next move is and how to rebuild his life.
Yeah, I would imagine he probably needs a shower at this point after after all the skin wearing and rolling around in pits full of poop. Maybe a nice shower would be okay. Maybe that'd be a nice reward after killing the biggest villain.
Yeah, and, Negan's kind of a clean freak. He's always been kind of big on keeping his appearance decent. So wearing the walker skins, and I mean, it was only a day or two ago that Beta had me cutting walkers up and digging holes and doing his little testing of me. So it's been a while since I've been cleaned up. Not to mention some stuff that happened in the woods a couple episodes ago. A shower would be good.
She is the best villain.
I really thought there was going to be some sort of Beta Mad Max thing.
So we were about to shoot a scene, and she kind of held up production because she thought she saw a spider on the ground, and she was deliberately bent over looking for this spider. And I was like, well, I got to take my shot here. So I grabbed a Kleenex from one of the makeup people and dangled it on the back of her neck and scared the ever-living out of her.
Very mean, but it's understandable. I see Jeffrey D. Morgan has a question from the fireplace.
I just wanted to add to Ryan's story, hence the socks. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
On to Gamma Thora Birch, who was scheduled to be on the show that didn't air. Brilliant performance, Thora. Thank you so much for being a part of the Walking Dead community. And now some tweets for Samantha. Jax01 on Twitter says, I've always loved Samantha's acting, but she outdid herself with her portrayal of Alpha, such an incredible, versatile actor. Let's kind of shift a little bit using Alpha as the bridge. Jeffrey, how much did you love the scene where the Whisperers bow and all of a sudden start calling Negan their Alpha? I thought that might go in a different direction than it did.
Yeah. I loved it. Norman hated it, which made me like it more. It was great. It just kind of pivoted that whole scene exactly like you said. And I think when Negan realizes what's going on, he absolutely becomes gleeful, which was fun because I'd had a crossbow pointed at my face the whole episode. So to kind of have that moment of tables turning was great.
Ron, did you enjoy seeing Daryl and Negan team up after their patchy history?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. I like you, Chris. I thought it was going a different way. I thought maybe Negan was going to take control, and this is the way that Negan got his groove back, after being locked up for so much. He's like, hey, it's time to start busting heads again. But it was like there's very few moments in that show that make me go, oh. But when he shot that other guy in the head and they teamed up, I was like, this is a brotherhood. This is a spin-off sitcom that I want to watch. Or maybe they can just have a relationship between Carol, Daryl, and Negan and just have a weird relationship like the Tiger King. I don't know. I'm excited.
You want to write for the show?
Ryan, you did such an amazing job of being able to emote through a mask. Did you find that challenging in any way? And also, did you have some input over the mask?
No, I'm an old school lip actor. I'm all about the lips and the eyes. It's on my resume. Well, No, I kind of like, he's just this kind of, pirate Sasquatch just kind of like walking around. So I vibed off of that a lot.
Welcome back to Talking Dead Home Edition. We're back with Ron, Ryan, and Jeffrey. I got to say, as much as I love the couch, I really enjoy this version of the show. I don't know, it just feels intimate. And I just feel like we're having the kinds of video hangouts that we should probably have anyway, because, we're all separated a lot when we're all working. So I'm really enjoying this. This is from @JennyRenson on Twitter. Jeffrey, what will happen to Negan and Lydia's friendship now that he has killed her mother?
Well, I kind of know what happens, and I think if you tune in, God, I don't remember if it's next week or the episode that's going to air at some point later on. But we are going to dig into the Lydia Negan post Alpha beheading, Mama gone conversation is going to happen.
A special Mother's Day episode.
But Ryan, if you could be haunted by any character on The Walking Dead, who would you be haunted by?
Shiva, right? I mean, got to be like a ghost tiger. Like, it's a good counterpoint. He's a big. I mean, you gotta be a good foe. There's only one other foe out there.
I want a ghost tiger on the show more than anything I think I've ever wanted in my entire life. Jeffrey, what about you? Who would you be haunted by?
I think it would have to be Rick Grimes.
I feel like I would want to be haunted by Dale. Like, I just want to see a spectral Winnebago pull up, and then a guy with a fishing hat just give me a cheers from the top of it. That would make me feel okay. I would appreciate that. This is from Marietta L. Jeffrey, what was it like filming your naked scene with Samantha Morton?
I mean, it was pretty naked, except for the socks.
You're gonna go to fan conventions and people are gonna ask you to sign their socks, Jeff.
I know. It's true. It's like a thing. It's crazy. They were more upset about the socks than anything I've ever done on screen. And it didn't even dawn on me that could possibly be a thing.
Enough about Glenn. Let's talk about these socks.
Socks, freaking people out.
Welcome back to Talking Dead Home Edition. We're back with Ron, Ryan, and Jeffrey. Ron, reaction to the dioramas.
Love the dioramas. Probably my favorite part of the show is it's a little weird to turn zombies into puppets, but I love puppets. I like shadow puppets. I don't necessarily want walker puppets, but I'm not here to judge anyone's art form. But I loved them. I liked they were dressed up. What Walker? Why do they always got to be in shaggy clothes and in shambles? We got to see a Walker dressed to the nines, holding the martini glass. Remind me of Gremlins 2, which I love. They actually kind of remind me of the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics band, but not as terrifying. I love.
By the way, massive points for referencing both Gremlins 2 and the Chuck E. Cheese band.
That was one of the greatest character introductions I've ever seen on any show, with the lead up of the Abe Lincoln zombies at Disneyland to her just saying, "Hi there." It was awesome.
It was fantastic.
It was so good. My wife, who never watches the show, she about fell off the bed laughing because we were so intrigued with the diorama stuff. That was so fun to see. And then her coming out with that big howdy was awesome.
@Negan is on Twitter wants to know, Jeffrey, why wasn't Negan afraid of Beta?
I think I don't know that he wasn't afraid of Beta. I think that he thought Beta was super creepy. People ask me, why didn't Negan kill Alpha earlier? Why didn't he kill, as opposed to the socks scene, for instance, why didn't he kill her then? And I think in Negan's mind, Beta was always behind the next tree. He was lurking and creeping out, and I think Negan was fully aware of that. So it wasn't as much fear as he was like, this dude's just off. And he is just off. And he doesn't have a very good sense of humor, obviously. And Negan had a problem with that. but I love Ryan.
This do anything for you, Jeff? Jeff, this do anything for you? We doing this? Do anything for you?
Yes.
I mean, come on, you know. Got the fireplace back there. I got a couple
awesome.
socks. You know, come on. What are we?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
That's foreplay right there. Yeah.
Ryan, how would Beta have reacted if he had seen the Whisperers kneeling to Negan?
Oh, he would have mowed them down, right? I mean, he would have killed those guys. Not only, for Beta in that moment, you know, it's kind of the reason why he forces that guy's face into Alpha, is not only are they like kneeling to somebody, but they are the one who's choosing to name him Alpha. So in the sort of Whisper ethos, that's just sort of blasphemy. Is like, first of all, they're like thinking for themselves, which is a big no-no, and then second of all, they're sort of like, you know, promoting somebody, which is, you know, is to them is, you know, Beta would have gone ballistic on those guys.
Ryan, can you talk about next week's episode? It's huge from what I hear. I haven't ahead yet, but can you tell me about it?
So what we can see is, more than anything, Beta meets business. Is that he's taken the Horde, you know, he's taken this Horde that we've never seen before, this giant Horde, you know, this new identity that he's sort of, you know, he's sort of claimed, and the Whisper is in full effect. If you think, you know, destroying Hilltop was big, is what's about to unfold it's quite amazing. And the sort of what we begin to see is the sort of, you know, the ghost of Alpha is still very, very present. But as I said, Beta means business.
All right. Well, thank you for the breakdown without giving anything away. Paul Niemeyer 1 on Twitter wants to know, Jeffrey, are you disappointed that your dialogue can't be as colorfully obscene as graphic novel Negan?
Mother. Yes, I am.
So it's got to be The Rock, and that's the people. You're either going to wear a mask, either you're a country star or a professional wrestler.
You're absolutely right. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Yes, it's human skin to wear.
I see what you did there.
Thank you so much for watching Talking Dead Home Edition. My guests tonight have been Ron Funches, Ryan Hurst, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I am Chris Hardwick. This was amazing tonight. Make sure to take care of yourself. Stay safe, stay home, and we'll see you next week. That's it for Talking Dead. Good night.